Hello everybody. Alright, well what I'm going to show you today is how to add more content to a page like this and make sure that it all looks good and scrolls down when you want to navigate through the page. So my friend Greg, whose page this is, asked me to how he could make this page easier to scroll and make it scroll up and down. So what I think we need to do for this page is first duplicate it. That way, if we make any mistakes, it's not a horrible error. We always have our original page. So as you can see here, I've already made a duplicate, Women 2, and I've messed around with it. So I'm going to show you first how to make a duplicate. Okay, let's switch over to Firefox and go back to Editor. Okay, click on our menu bar, click on Manage Menu, and so the way that I made that duplicate, you can see it here, is I just clicked on these little 3 ellipses and went to duplicate. And then I'll say Women 3 just so that you can see how I did it. And then you drag it all the way up to the top. And sometimes this takes a while, so you've got to drag it in pieces or in segments. Alright, well, you get the idea of how I created that duplicate. And so now that you see how I did it, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one. Delete. Alright, so, and it wants to confirm. We'll click delete. Alright, so now you see how I created the duplicate. Now we're going to go to Women 2. Well, my computer's running quite a bit slowly today. Alright, so we'll go to Women 1 so you can see what the issue is. So he wants to add more content to this page and wants it to scroll down. So as you can see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4, no, we've only got 3 rows. So in order to see how the vertical scrolling works, we'll just need to add more content. And I've already done that on Women 2. So we'll navigate to Women 2 inside of our editor. Alright, so what I've done here is just added a bunch of blank, or rather placeholder images to see how it will look when we add more content, to see how it will scroll. Alright, so one thing I want to mention here is that, or want to show you guys here, is let's click on this grid. You can see that the element's called the grid with that little blue box there. It said the word grid, so you can tell what type of element this is. And we'll click on layouts. And notice here in layout, it shows a number of columns. We've got 4. It shows the number of rows, 10. And so I think, well, you know, he's probably going to have at least 50 women that he wants to add to this page. So we'll click 50 and exit out. And let's see how many we have right here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well, my computer's running really slowly, but trust me, there are 10. Alright, so let's go back. We'll click on the grid element again. Click on layouts. And remember, well, I had put 50. Well, now it's back to 10. And you see how the slider, it's maxed out at 10. So that seems to indicate that WiX will only allow you to create 10 rows at a time. That's a bummer because we're probably going to want more. So what I did was I just went to change images and I just added a bunch of blank, or rather placeholder images, added a bunch of them to see what would happen if I got to more than 10 rows. And so 10 times 4 is 40. So as soon as you get to 41 and 42, you're already on the 11th row. So I'll show you how I added all these images. I couldn't figure out how to duplicate or how to add a bunch at once, so I had to add them all one at a time. So you click on add more photos, you select what photo you want to add, you click apply, and instead of placing it at the end, which would be super convenient, it puts it up here at the top, which is kind of a drag, because then you got to drag it all the way to the bottom. And when your computer's running slowly like mine is, it takes a while to drag it down there. So we're going to do this in segments, drag it down to the bottom, and then we'll change the name to B test. And click done. Alright, now when we scroll down, you can see we've got our 10 rows of Adriana test, and now we've got this view more. So we can't see our 11th row yet until we click preview. And we'll click on show more and see what happens. Okay, so it does show us now the additional images, the 41, 42, and 43 that I added here. Now if we click back to editor, it doesn't really let you control that, the 11th row, but if you click here on the grid, you can't really see the images that are outside the grid, but you can still add more when you click on change images. So our pictures are still there, and it looks like it will just only let us load 10 rows at a time. So one other thing I wanted to show you guys is that if you click on this help menu, or if you go up to the help up here, we'll go to Editor Help Center. We'll type in, what was it? Number of rows into the help editor. Well, what I wanted to show you was a specific page. Change your gallery layout. Well, I can't find it now, but there was a particular page that I want to show you that basically said that the maximum vertical dimensions on any page could be 60,000 pages, but that you could continue to add more, it just would make your page slower. So if I find that later on, I'll try to put a link to it. Alright, so I just wanted to show that you are able to add more than 10 rows, and that you will be able to load them once you're in preview. You'll just have to click on the show more button. Alright, so hope you guys found that helpful, and happy editing.